So we've been working in the yard, preparing for winter. You can feel the chill come in at night. It's still there in the morning. Then today it's supposed to get about 55, 60, which is a nice temperature, especially for working like in the yard, having a fire. It's kind of quiet on weekdays up here. One thing about fires, that and hot water for a long hot shower is what I like to be prepared for. And I've got generators, I've got firewood. We're set for winter. We went out and stocked up on a bunch of food. I'm actually kind of a prepper, so we didn't have to do much stocking up on all the other stuff. All that's ready. We'll see what happens. What I know about fire, having loved fire my whole life, this here is what I would call an Indian fire. You can stand here and warm yourself. It's just really pleasant. What I used to build were white man fires, which means they were huge. If you got this close, it'd burn the hair on your arms. I mean, it was more about having a fire than warming yourself by a fire. White man fire, you couldn't even be this close to it because it'd burn you. Indian fire, it's just pleasant to be around. I was thinking of doing a series of telling stories by a campfire. Kind of like the Indian fire thing, just short little videos. It's almost time to stop working in the yard, put the lawnmower away, have everything pruned, have it all ready. See the size of these trees around here? Now around the end of October, we start getting winds. Snoqualmie Pass is right over there. That's headed east. That's south, north, west. And when on the other side of the Cascade Range, when they get high pressure and we get low pressure, which is almost like the air flows like water over a waterfall, trying to get to the lower pressure side. So the wind comes through about 3 or 4 major places in the Cascade Range in western Washington here. And it comes through here with, the wind comes through here with a vengeance. Sometimes we'll get 60, 70 mile an hour gust. And they're coming straight from over there, right over to here. I've had many trees go over. In fact, where the camera is set up, there was a tree that went over and it fell on my neighbor's house. The wind in the background, but it's a bit of a windy day. It was probably a 125 footer, that big around. It was one of the larger trees on the lot, on the property. And they don't just fall over, they kind of go like this, and then another gust comes and they go like that. And it takes this one took probably a half hour to go over. And I knew that my neighbor, who was a drunk, was in his house, so I went to the back door. On a lake, the lake side of the properties is the front of the house, so this is the front door side. So the back door side is where the driveways come in, which a lot of people think that you approach houses on the front side. But if you've ever looked at lake property, you don't buy lake back property, you buy lake front property. So anyway, I go out and around to the road because my property's all fenced in because I don't really care for interacting with neighbors all that much. Go around, come into his house, and there's a tree leaning, about to fall, big tree. And I'm knocking on his door and nicely, and I can look over this way and I see that tree. It's gonna crush his house. So I knock some more, get louder. Finally, I just kicked his door in and went in his bedroom and pretty much drug him out of bed and out of the house. Of course, he was passed out from a night of drinking. Drug him out, got him to a safe spot. I mean, he was actually walking by then. And then we watched this tree, and whoa, and it was spectacular. I mean, when one of these trees goes over, the only thing more spectacular with these trees is across the cul-de-sac, one of the neighbors had one hit by lightning, and it just blew up. It turned into shards that were really sharp, about the size of a 2x4, and about just kind of like a sharpened 2x4 with raggedy shard types of ends on it. And they probably they came over to the end of my driveway, and that's probably about 200 feet to where the tree was hit, over to my driveway. Those things would have been just lethal. So it gets pretty interesting living here in the trees. On really windy nights, you might not want to sleep upstairs. You might want to be downstairs. Like I said, my tree killed his house. He's had 2 big trees hit his house, and I think he lived off the insurance for years. Boy, this is a nice fire. Those Indians, they knew what they were doing when they were building fires. So like I said, it's pretty much the end of the work season as far as plants and lawn and all that here. I have my Kubota tractor and a little excavator, and I'll be out doing some digging in the dirt, which I just love playing in the dirt. When I was a kid, if I played ball all the time. If I wasn't playing some sport with a ball, I was out with little Tonka trucks and stuff, pretending I was moving dirt. And now that life has come full circle, now I'm just an old man who loves going out and playing in the dirt, only I have more expensive toys. Not necessarily better, but just more expensive. Maybe the next video I'll show you the shop. It's the ultimate man land. There's tractor, excavator, my old machine shop, mills, lathes, welders, para car hoist. I used to build hot rods and do race cars for a long time. And I don't really care for doing that stuff anymore. I'd much rather just play in the dirt. Anyway, this is probably long enough. I think I'll just leave the camera on the fire for a little bit. And you can see that.